Ebuka was a 20-year-old boy from the lively village of Umuoma, known by everyone, but not for the right reasons. He was a trickster, a boy who found endless joy in making fools of others. Almost every other day, he would come running into the village square, panting heavily, his face twisted in terror, screaming for help. The villagers, out of the goodness of their hearts, would rush to his aid, leaving their wares, dropping their tools, running with all their might to save a boy in distress. But every single time, as soon as they arrived, Ebuka would burst into laughter, pointing at their faces. "Ha ha! You should see yourselves. You ran like headless chickens," he would say, laughing so hard he could barely breathe. The villagers grew tired. The elders warned him, "Ebuka, the day you will need help, no one will come." But Ebuka never listened. To him, life was a game, and people were simply characters in his world of jokes. One fateful evening, as the sun began to set behind the hills, Ebuka's mother sent him to fetch water from the village stream. It was a short walk, a path he had taken 100 times before. But that night felt different. The air was unusually still. The wind did not blow, the trees did not sway, and the birds had stopped chirping. It was as if the entire forest was holding its breath. When Ebuka reached the stream, he paused. His eyes widened. The water was not its usual clear blue. It was glowing, swirling with bright colors of gold, red, green, and deep blue, as if a rainbow had melted into the stream. "Which kind water be this?" Ebuka muttered, stepping closer. He crouched and reached out to touch it. The moment his fingers grazed the surface, the colors seemed to dance around his hand, wrapping his fingers in a soft, warm glow. Then he heard it. A voice soft, melodious, and echoing, as if speaking from deep within the earth. "Come closer, Ebuka." His heart pounded. Who called him? He turned around, but there was no one. He was alone. A cold shiver ran down his spine. His legs trembled, but curiosity held him in place. He took a step forward, then another. Suddenly, something grabbed his ankle. A force, cold and powerful, wrapped around his leg and yanked him forward. "Ah!" Ebuka screamed, thrashing wildly. But the grip was unrelenting. His feet slid deeper into the water. He struggled, trying to break free, but someone was pulling him under. "Help! Help me! Something is taking me!" His screams echoed through the village. Some villagers heard, but they only scoffed. "Ebuka the trickster," she said, her voice echoing. "You call for help when you need none. Now when you truly scream, no one listens." "Tell Ebuka don't start again," one man said, shaking his head. "Leave Am. If no real problem, he go find way escape," another said, continuing his work. No one came. No one believed him. Water rose up to Ebuka's chest. His arms flailed wildly. His breath quickened. His heartbeat pounded in his ears. He screamed again, voice hoarse with real terror. Then darkness. Ebuka awoke to silence. When he opened his eyes, he found himself floating in a strange blue-lit palace. Walls made of water pulsed softly around him. Shimmering fish swam past. The air smelled of salt and mystery. A figure stepped forward, a woman tall, otherworldly, her hair silver like moonlight, her eyes like the stars. Her gown flowed like the river, shifting with every movement. She gazed at him, her expression unreadable me. "How does it feel?" Ebuka's mouth went dry. He could only stare. "Please, let me go," he finally whispered, his voice barely audible. The river goddess studied him. For the first time in his life, Ebuka saw something he had never seen before: power, beyond his understanding. 2 days, she said finally. "You will stay here for 2 days. Perhaps by then, you will understand the power of truth." Then, with a wave of her hand, everything turned to black. When Ebuka finally stumbled out of the water 2 days later, drenched and shivering, the village was in uproar. "Look, is that not Ebuka?" The villagers rushed toward him, expecting another joke, another prank. But something was different. Ebuka did not laugh. He did not joke. He did not speak. He simply stared at them, his eyes hollow, his body trembling. "I was taken, the river, the goddess," he muttered. Laughter erupted in the crowd. "You don't come again," someone jeered. "Ebuka, when will you stop these games?" his mother asked, exasperated. Ebuka looked at them, realization dawning upon him. No one believed him. The river goddess had been right. From that day on, the village noticed something strange. Ebuka, the trickster, no longer played jokes. He no longer shouted for help. He barely even spoke. And whenever he passed by the stream, he would stop and stare, as if listening for a voice only he could hear. The villagers whispered, wondering what truly happened to him in those 2 days beneath the water. But no one ever knew. Only Ebuka and the goddess.